Oh, YouTube. What is up, guys? What has happened today? Nothing. I'll be real. I did just get an offer for some Fire Reds that I had for sale. Some Jordan 4 Fire Reds, I believe they're called. Um, for like 186, and we're gonna see how that goes. It was through Depop. But you guys know with fees and everything, I'll probably only get like 160 or some shit like that. I have been playing a lot of Grow a Garden, I'm not gonna lie, and watching a lot of Love Island. But I'm bummed out because my favorite character just got eliminated, Jeremiah. I thought he was gonna see it all the way through, I'm gonna be real with you. And things were starting to get better for him. But it shows that betrayal is a real thing, I'm not gonna lie. So I went ahead and texted him on Instagram. To see, like, because I was like, bro, I could do this show. Like, if I got in the gym for a year straight and like straight look maxed for a year straight, I could get in that show, I'm not gonna lie. And I'd be 21, so it'd be perfect. So we're gonna have to see. I doubt I ever go into a show something like that because I'm not social enough for something like that, I'll be real. But Jeremiah gave me hope, man. He's kind of the archetype of guy that I am, which is like kind of introverted, a little extroverted, a little bit. But just a cool, calm guy, and I think a lot of guys are like Jeremiah in real life, at least. Not some fucking whatever the hell that dude Ace was on. But yeah, not a lot planned. Not gonna lie. What do I have planned for tomorrow? Not much. I'll be real. I don't even know what I have planned. Probably go back through my Depop a little bit, do a little bit of listings, check out the market, see what's going on, do some refreshing next week. No, I might do the refreshing on like Saturday or Sunday. Get refreshed on my trading. But what I need to do tomorrow as well is get all my packages delivered. That is the main problem I'm facing as of right now. If you guys do know, I'm trying to see if the business that I'm in works better remote, and it does, but it's a little slower, let me put it like that. So obviously my delivery times aren't going to be as fast as I want them to be because it's not me delivering said product. So I'm starting to see like what it would feel like to have an employee, I'm not gonna lie. And I'd rather do it myself, I'll be real. So obviously I don't have an employee, they're not getting paid, so maybe that's another thing, but I don't know. I am putting my foot in the water a little bit. I'm looking into a lot. Well, I guess this is something I did today too. I'm looking into a lot of different ways to make money, and how to move money. That's the more important thing, but mostly accumulating it in the first place because I know how to move it pretty well. So like I said, most things that I'm focused on by today was playing Grow a Garden whenever I get some downtime and get a notification about it. Watching a lot of Love Island, chilling and doing slight little tasks, getting everything listed and getting everything sorted, and going ahead and trying to manage my business outside of, you know what I mean. So definitely a different feel. Do I enjoy how life is going with this whole, like, we're not life. Do I enjoy the way that the business is going while I'm absent, I guess I can put it as? Not really, just because I like to physically have that thing like on my mind all the time, and I want to be able to get it done as effectively as I can, and I obviously can't get it done effectively if it's not me doing it, is my kind of thought behind it. So we got to check that out. We got to get that sorted out in the best way possible. I do have to get that done by tomorrow because shipping isn't going to be doable, or it's not going to be as doable on Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, Sundays it's closed, but I do want to have it shipped out before all that stuff happens. So ideally, I'd want to get everything shipped by Saturday and have it out by Sunday and out and moving type shit. So like I said, I'm going to check that out. What else do I have that I have to get done? That's pretty much it. I would say low-key might end the vacation early in order to manage that. in order to manage the business a little bit better, because like I said, I do really need to get that stuff out. It would make a huge difference. We're pushing the 7th. I do have that date or that thing that I have to go do on the 14th-ish. So we're going to have to see how that's going to be managed. Once again, I don't know how I'm planning on getting that done or whatever. But yeah, future me will deal with that. I'm not going to lie. I'm just current me. I'm just here for the vibes. I just work here type shit. How am I feeling? Once again, same as I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. A lot of nothing, dude. Like, it's just blandness in the back of my head. The only thing I've been thinking about recently is like business, basketball, making content. Like, that's a good thing to think about. Like, it's all productive, but like business, making content, basketball, chilling. And I do know that, this is another thing I have to talk about while I'm on here. School is definitely going to affect a lot of the things that are going on in my day-to-day life. If you guys don't know, the guy that I hang with the most, he does go to school. That's cool. And a lot of people in my age range are in school right now as well. So a lot of my customers, per se, are going to be in school, which is a good or bad thing. I need to start preparing for the winter. Now, I'm going to talk about how I prepare for the winter in a minute with this business model, but as to start it off, yeah, like I said, business isn't going to be as big, I guess. I'm not sure. This is really just a trial run for me to see like how it's going to affect future movement and see like how I need to adapt through the seasons. I already know with my stock, I'm going to have to get a little bit more sweater weathery kind of like apparel on my shop, a lot more boots and stuff like that. It's not going to be sneakers and hot boy slides and all that stuff. So I need to start finding a way of how I'm going to move into that and integrate myself into that change. I kind of break it down into the sense of with clothing, it's hot weather, cold weather, and obviously summer is its whole bracket by itself. Transitioning into it is another bracket. And then you've got like the colder seasons where like stuff like Carhartt and Timberlands and thermals and stuff like that like really take off. So yeah, I need to be checking into that. How am I going to adapt for like the future business things that I have planned as well? It'll probably just be with my vehicles or whatnot. Okay, back to what I was saying. So main concern when it comes to the other business that I have to do, which would be flipping. It does change every year, but obviously I hope before it starts getting cold that I can migrate from like video games and stuff like that and consoles and shoes and all that to more of a car kind of thing. Now, I can't quite remember, which is bad, but I'm pretty sure I have a journal somewhere in my room that talks about this. I think wintertime is the best time to sell like commuter cars. Obviously sports cars are going to get sold more during the summer, drop tops, stuff like that, but I don't sell that kind of stuff. But if I'm remembering correctly, I think like sweater weather and like coming out of the winter and going into the winter where it's like a little chilly, but it's not hot, it's not cold. I believe that was when I was selling the most vehicles. So I'm going to try to hop onto that while I have the chance to do so. And if I have to make an adjustment here or there, I'm going to do that. I have to find a way around it. But as it's standing now, I need to do a little bit more research, see how that goes. Another thing I've been doing research on is citizenship. I have to do a little bit more because I can't understand what the hell I'm reading. It's not that it's like in Japanese or anything or like Chinese or anything, but it's yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of it is super difficult, like adult stuff that I don't know much about right now. So I do have to look more into that, and I do have to get it dumbed down for me so I can understand what we're actually reading. But it doesn't look too difficult. It really looks like you get a 30-day visa, and I would use said visa to kind of just screw around and see like if you actually enjoy it before you shoot for more of a I think what you need to do is learn the language first. So go down there for 30 days, see if you like it, see whatever, explore. Come back, do your visa, or not visa, but your citizenship requirements, such as learning Japanese and all that, and then transferring over into a school or having high income, apparently. So I am really going to be pushing for this stable high income over digital or over online markets. And obviously I'm going to lose a big stretch of my income, which is going to be Facebook Marketplace. Now, I'm banking on Facebook Marketplace being what kicks off my money and allows me to further invest that into like stocks, crypto, and all that other stuff. All the jazz that I'm actually pretty good at other than flipping. And here's the breakdown really, right? So while we're here, we're trying to get the Depop stuff set up so I can get enough money to get to the vehicle. Once I get to the vehicle is the vehicle for me to get to the trading. And once I get to trading, it's just indefinite money print, hopefully. Now, for the backup plan, we still do have Depop and Mercari and Poshmark and all these other stuff in the background, and eBay running as a continuous little cycle in the background. And I'm thinking what's going to end up happening is Facebook's obviously going to kind of like take a dip. It's going to be a lot harder for me to sell things and move things as I want them to. Somebody actually just texted me on here. Anyways, but like I said, I know it's going to be a lot harder to sell things and move things. I don't even know if they have the ability to sell on Facebook out there, but once again, we're going to have to see during the 30-day. When will the 30-day take place? Here, let's make a little goal, right? After I make my first, let's say, the trip is probably going to be like 2 bands. It's kind of expensive, low-key. Yeah, let's say it's 2 bands. If I make my first 5K, then we can start looking into moving out there to get the whole thing set up for a month, like sitting out there for a month. Let's say 10K, because that way I have like 8K buffer if need be. Not that rent and all that's going to be that expensive, but let's say when I first save up 10K, that's when we're going to go ahead and do it. So, yeah, we need to keep that in mind. That might change. You guys know I'm low-key bipolar, but whatever. So we talked about that. eBay, like I was saying, eBay is going to be what takes over my Facebook. I'm having a feeling. Once I start getting product in that actually makes a huge splash, per se, and kind of like my shoes, the way I sell my shoes. And I'm wondering if out where I'm moving has the ability to, like, if maybe I can find them out there cheaper, maybe if, like, there's a plug out there, like, maybe if I can make my own warehouse. I don't know how it would possibly go, but that's another thing I need to do and test out during the visa period. But to start it off fresh, I believe eBay will be the bulk of my money, right behind Depop, Mercari, Poshmark. Once again, I need to check and see what is the shipping methods of where I'm moving to and see how that transfers overseas. I'm gonna be real with you. I believe since it's overseas with the tariffs that Trump is now trying to initiate, I believe that it's gonna be a lot more expensive. I don't think it's gonna really affect me. I just won't be able to do free shipping, which makes sense. But I've only shipped to people in my area, so shipping internationally I know is gonna be a lot more expensive. But if I scale it up to a certain level, I feel like it wouldn't be really a problem. But yeah. Another thing that I'm trying to not adapt to, but kind of take into consideration is it's going to be a new environment. Let's be real. It's a new environment. I'm not going to really know what I'm getting into. So that's what the 30-day grace period is for. But once I get there, even after the 30-day grace period and exploring and all that, it's not my territory. And if that makes sense, such as like where I'm at now, I know how the environment moves. I know how the market moves. I basically know how money moves in my area. When I go out of my area, it's a different story. And just going city to city, things change. So I can only imagine state to state, country to country kind of things like that. So once again, that's more of those things I'm gonna just have to experience when the time comes. But I'm really hoping that it's not anything too bad and it doesn't affect things too drastically, because if it does, that could cause some problems. I'm also wondering if there's such thing as an extended visa. That way maybe I can go out there, test it out, and give myself enough time to kind of make some sales and like see how the process moves. But if not, then but I don't know if they got Amazon or anything out there. I'm sure they got Amazon, but I'm not sure if they have anything like a postal service to where I can just USPS. I think it's probably gonna be something different. Like, I forgot the name of the brand. It's like DHL, stuff like that. Like, I'm sure they have them. It's just the prices that I'm gonna have to consider. But that's more of a after late game kind of thing. Like, you've got the early game stuff, which is moving into a house, building credit, building a bank, and all that stuff. And then you've got like moderate to late game, which is more of what are the taxes, fees, and all that stuff looking like off of the business side. I do not, this is also something, I do not think that I'm going to register as an LLC, I'll be honest. And you're probably wondering, why, bro? You get tax benefits and all that. It's because you're a little bit more into the spotlight of the government, or at least in the United States wise. So they have an eye on you 24/7. No, there's not that there's anything bad about that at all, but when it comes down to taxes and stuff like that, I just don't like dealing with them all too much. So I'm probably going to just end up purchasing like an accountant or something like that. Or what I'm really going to do is probably put 99% of my money into the stocks and kind of just let them multiply themselves and pay myself out with shares of the stock. But if I take that route, it'll most likely have to be with an LLC, unfortunately. And once again, I don't even know if that's something that you can do out there. So once again, more research. I wish I had somebody that like lived out there or something that I knew, and maybe I could just ask them these questions, but I don't. So I have to find them out for myself, which is great. That's about it. Like I said, by tomorrow, maybe a little later than that, I would say by tomorrow. I need to see if I can get these packages shipped, if I can get all my orders and everything figured out, get all my fees and everything figured out, see what's going on the 14th, and a lot of other little things that I gotta like kind of bring together real quick. I do need to find a way to automate my offers once again through Depop. There was an app that I was using, but iPhones can't really use it, unfortunately. So I'm wondering if I need to buy a cheap laptop or what I gotta do. But the last laptop I had, I flipped it for a pretty penny, and I'm wondering if I can buy me a $400 one or something cheaper than that, flip it for $800 and call it a day. But it is getting a lot more difficult because, you know, technology's evolving. Nobody wants an older laptop as of right now, and they are very hard for me to sell because they're older. It takes like usually, I think, 3 months, 2-3 months, which is pretty damn long in my opinion. But I mean, the return is double, so, you know. What else? I feel like there's something I'm missing once again, and this is always a thing. Oh, yeah. So high school, or not high school, college is starting back up, as you guys know, and I just spoke about that a little bit earlier, but I am really wanting to get into networking once again with my fellow peers. I know I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I need to set goals for what I'm looking for in a relationship, and I'm not talking about like a literal relationship like dating, but I need to set goals for what I'm looking for when it comes to being peers with somebody. Obviously, my time is quite valuable to me, and I can't really just be throwing it out the window, doing parties and with some random guy or girl, whatever. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm probably going to completely pay off my phone bill, delete my contact information and change it, and go rogue that way, or just block everybody in my phone that I don't talk to, or keep everybody's number, don't talk to them unless they talk to me like I've been doing, and go to like MTSU or TSU or colleges in my area pretty much, and just ask what's going on, see what type of people I can get in communication with. Yeah, I might party a little bit here and there, just gotta get into those circles. But I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna be shooting for more of like the seniors slash junior nurses and engineers and stuff like that, lawyers, and see if I can get, integrated into that little environment. See if I can kind of build my relationships before I take off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, not a lot more to talk about in that one. What is it? Thursday. I'll talk to you guys one more time tomorrow, and then you know what? I think I'm going to start doing videos on Saturdays and Sundays. But I'm also wondering, does that boost my algorithm, or does it keep it the same, or maybe neither of those change and it's kind of just like more work? I don't know. I feel like I enjoy coming back here on Monday and having more to talk about, but the only problem is I feel like I forget a lot of details that I would have wanted to talk about in the day. But I'm going to give I don't know, dude. I mean, no. I'm going to leave Saturday and Sunday off the table, back to the original way that I used to do it. If anything drastic happens, then I'll make a video. But if anything doesn't happen like that, then it'll probably go on my Instagram or TikTok. That way I can kind of segregate those 2-3 platforms and have them for their own audience. TikTok being more goofy content, Instagram being more like business to goofy, and then YouTube being more just straight business and progression. So keep Instagram and YouTube more business savvy kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, basically perfecting skills is still the goal. Perfecting, moving, learning. Perfecting, moving, learning every single day. And trying to get everything automated. Now, I tried with this whole little vacation thing that I did. The automation was decent. It wasn't how I wanted it to be, if you know what I'm talking about. So we got to work with it a little bit more, see what I can do. But I think the main problem is that I wouldn't have the stock in hand with me at all times. That's the main problem. Because if I did, then the location wouldn't really matter. But I would say this is a semi-passive form of business. And I don't really mind it being like that. With day trading being like passive, selling cars being active, or semi-passive, once again, hard semi-passive. And yeah, all I gotta do is get the stock and then sell the items, so it's not that bad. But yeah, I'll check you guys tomorrow for the final video, and then I come back on Monday and we'll see what happened. But hopefully I don't forget to do a little bit more research and kind of experiment with some stuff and see what I come up with, you know what I mean? It'll probably be around the afternoon time that I talk to you guys again. I don't know, maybe a little around nighttime. It's 6:04 right now, so probably around that same time tomorrow, and we'll have to see. Once again, I love you guys, and I'll check you all later. Peace.